Hey guys, Moldran here. Today I want to talk about the top 3 changes I would like to see to Diablo 3 now in the near or distant future. Let's start with change number 1. Change number 1 would be to implement a fully self-found mode to Diablo and integrate that, for example, as an additional gameplay option or as maybe even the game itself. Now, with self-found mode, I mean that every character that you create is only able to use gear that you find himself. Now, there are many other suggestions. For example, people often suggest ladders, but I don't think that ladders are really the solution to everything. The reason for that is the ladders worked really well in Diablo 1 and 2, but those were different games. Diablo 1 and 2 had leveling was much more fun there. It took a lot longer, and every level you would get 5 stat points, or in Diablo 2 even 5 stat points plus a skill point. So the leveling experience was much more fun there, also the playing experience, because you had more randomization in dungeons and that kind of stuff. And the problem with ladder, ladder doesn't fix anything. Now let's assume Diablo 3 would reset the ladders now, everyone would start from 1 again. The problem is, all the bots would still start from 1 again, get to 60 and start botting gold, or start botting unidentified legendaries. And then they would sell this for money and that kind of stuff. And that's really the problem, because a ladder reset doesn't stop all the negative things about the game, including botting, pay to win, and that kind of stuff. And that's why I really think there has to be a self-found mode. This could be, for example, in addition to ladder. For example, it could be every 6 months there's a new self-found mode ladder where you start from level 1 and acquire all the gear for yourself. Now, this change is pretty much the basis of everything else. This is the fundamental change, but also there are 2 other important changes that I would like to see in the game. Now, the second is the endgame content. Now, again, Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, many people say those games also didn't have a lot of endgame content. But the difference is now, Diablo 1 was released in 1996, Diablo 2 was released 2000. That's a decade ago. And now expectations and everything has changed. Now, Diablo 1 and 2, back at the time, they were the best games out there. They were really innovative, game-breaking, that kind of stuff. They were really state of the art, something which Diablo 3 probably is not. I mean, since back then there have been amazing games out there like Skyrim, World of Warcraft Classic and so on. Those games naturally, people played them and they set the expectations higher now. So the new Diablo 3 or the new Diablo game has to offer also some kind of end game, especially if it doesn't offer end game in the form of a long leveling experience or other stuff. PvP, for example. So that's the second big thing that I would like to see in the game. It can be anything, there are so many good suggestions. Endless dungeons, or some feature with PvP and PvE elements involved. There are unlimited options, some randomized content, doesn't matter what it is. There just needs to be an incentive to play. There needs to be an incentive to farm gear, to work hard, something to strive for and aim for, which should be such an endgame system, maybe even with ladder or something. And the third important change that I would like to see in the game is PvP. Now, I've seen Diablo 3 Arena PvP, if that I mean real PvP and not brawling, back in 2010, the Blizzcon, as you can see here. And it's really sad that only a handful of people were able to experience that amazing PvP. Now, there were only 2 types of people that experienced it. Testers at Blizzard and people who were lucky enough to go to BlizzCon 2010 and get to one of their computers with Diablo 3 Arena. And they all said it was fun. Even Wilson himself said on Reddit, PvP, the arena PvP, is fun. And I don't know why we still don't have this, because this would be also a thing we could all look forward to, we could all gear up towards and that kind of stuff. And the problem is, with Diablo 3, for example, first we farmed a long time in 3 Arcaso runs and that kind of stuff. And then they changed the mob density, but all we are doing now is farming Act 1 and Act 2, the best areas. But what's really the point of that? And that's what I'm looking for right now. And there needs to be a point for that. This should be, with the 3 changes that are in my mind, would keep people playing the game and also get people back to the game and increase the player numbers. And it's also important to note that those 3 changes, they have synergy effects. And they all need to happen at the same time. There's no, for example, no point for an arena system if it's still going to be pay to win. If it's still going to be botters bot gold and unidentified legendaries, rich people buy the stuff, and for example have a 5,000 euro character, and with that character they go in arena, and then they like rank higher or are able to destroy people who might be better players but might not have the same gear. And so this is like, that's why the number one change with self-found option, or making or dedicating special server for self-found people, is like the fundamental basis of everything. It's the same with like the Endless Dungeon mode. Like if the Endless Dungeon mode has like a ladder or ranking system, like whoever gets the furthest, then it's still going to be about gear, it's still going to be about pay to win. And this is the real problem with the game that needs to stop: pay to win, botting and that stuff. But if it's self-found, then it doesn't really matter. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed my video. Let me know your suggestions or what you think about that. And all three things are not that hard to implement. Like an Endless Dungeon system, it's all in the game. Like monsters are in the game, maps are in the game. Just need to make it so there are a few random effects and that it's unlimited. Like actually in the Endless Dungeon, you would just have to design one map, one randomized map, and that same map just like adds +1 or one level deeper the further you progress. There is no like special programming effort. Same for like the arena system. Like the maps and everything has already been in the game in alpha. It's just not currently available to us, but it's still in the game, like the mechanics and everything. And the self-found mode option is probably just one little option. Boom, that's it. So yeah, of course, like some people say it's not the best because they love trading and that kind of stuff. But I think with the botting problem, the pay-to-win problem, I think personally I would really prefer, like, even if I like trading at the auction house, to not use it and just use items that I find, because that would really motivate me to play the game. Thanks for watching. I'll be back.
Kane, you still live.
Ah, there you are. The writings in this place are incredible. Come, stay a while and...
It is time for shedding our enemy's blood, not idle talk.
No one ever listens.